Hi, I'm Mr. McConley, and this is BKW Intro to Agriculture class. And today we're going to go through the basics of operating a tractor. And we're going to talk about all the different levers, what they do, how they work. So to assist me today, we have Farmer Andrew, and I'm going to do some videotaping, and he's going to talk through, and then you'll hear me also narrating some things as appropriate.
So the first thing we can start with here is probably the most basic thing that's most necessary is you have your clutch here. So if you were to take off, you could push this down all the way and then you let it out, and we can go through that when we start the tractor.
So the clutch basically engages the gears, allows the tractor to move forward. Or when you depress it, the tractor will not move forward, it will not engage the gears. Okay.
So probably staying on the foot pedal note, we can look at the brakes over here.
Alright, I'll go around to the other side.
So these are your brakes here. So right now we have them connected.
So why do we have two brakes on a tractor?
So if we're in a tight yard and say you got a wagon and you got to get it spun around, you can take this pin out here like that. Now they're disconnected.
Now show us that we can push either pedal.
So if I wanted to turn to the right really sharp, I could push this one down, lock up this tire.
That would lock up the right tire
really
here.
Spin it right around. Or same goes for the other brake. But for most of the time, you keep them together, because if you're going down the road and you hit one brake, you're gonna end up in a ditch.
Right. So you want both brakes to brake equally. All right. What else do we have for levers here?
So next we'll go to our gears.
Okay.
So this is each range. So you got A, B, and C. A being the slow range.
Yep.
And for those you have to stop and push the clutch in to change those.
Okay.
On this specific tractor.
So C would be anything road driving mostly.
Most field work you're probably in the B range.
Yep.
And then in each range, A, B, and C, you have this lever here, which is
Get up a little higher on this.
1, 2, 3, and 4. So
okay.
This tractor's a synchro, so what that means is you can shift while you're moving, or also known as on the fly.
So in range A, we could go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we could go to B, 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 1, 2, 3, 4. How about reverse?
Reverse is the same way. You just have this lever over here. So if I wanted to go forward, I would push the clutch in and push this lever forward, and you push it over a little bit, and then it goes forward. And if I wanted to go backwards, I push it that way.
Okay.
And push the clutch in.
All right.
So, do you want to do the
Well, let's talk about the parking brake. I see you have the parking brake on right now.
So the parking brake, the tractor will beep at you, this specific tractor, if you don't have it on.
Safety feature, so you don't accidentally let the tractor roll away.
So you just pull it up, it makes a clicking sound, kind of. And you want to make sure you turn that off, because you'll burn the brakes up if you're leaving it on while you're driving.
Okay. What about this same side? What's this lever back here with the yellowish dirty handle?
The PTO handle. So how we use that is any sort of field work, like a baler or a rake or a mower. You can't just push it forward real fast. You gotta slowly ease it forward to make sure you don't break anything on the equipment or stall the
tractor. And when we do
tractor.
turn that on, that is going to spin the PTO, the power takeoff, which is the thing back here, and this spins around and will power the implement that you're pulling. It provides the power through a shaft, and we're going to do another video on PTO safety and how that all works. But basically that yellow lever engages that right there. While we're back here, why don't we look at some other things? What are these green capped things?
We got these hydraulics here, so in a minute we'll show you the lever for that. So this can be like if you have a mower that lifts up and down, or turns, swings in and out. You put hoses in here and it pushes fluid through the lines.
So by use of hydraulic pressure, we can move parts of the implement through hydraulic rams. So let's go around to the other side.
Look at these right now and show that lever.
Well, let's look at the lever for this, and then we'll zip back here. So what's the lever that controls those hydraulics you were just showing us?
This is the lever right here. So I think we have it set up most of the time, so forward is put the implement down and back is lifted up.
Yep, pull it back and up. Yep.
So it's a two-way in and out thing, so you can, it's not just one way. You can
Sure.
bring it back either way.
Now, what are the two controls, you know, lower down in there that have numbers on them? Right in this area. What are these?
Those are the
What are those for?
3-point hitch.
Okay.
So you could use that for any 3-point implement. What's a
So-
good example of one?
3-point implement, I might have my
Plow,
brush
maybe?
hog or a plow hooked to the back of it, and I can lift those. So let's look at the 3-point arms. You point to those, please.
So these are the two bottom links, right here and here.
Of the 3-point arms, and those
then-
can go up and down with the levers we just showed
Yep.
you.
And then this one is just a floater to keep it balanced, and you have to level it by adjusting this. This turns and moves it in or out. So if you move it out, the back of the implement will go down.
Nice.
So you have to, like leveling a plow or something like that, or a
Okay.
brush hog.
So what other controls have we missed? We missed, I know we missed two that are still on the floorboard here. So let's go back in here and look straight down. I got this orange pedal here, right there. What's that all about?
So we got a foot throttle. So you don't use that a lot of
So
the
this
time.
right here is your foot throttle. So this will rev up the tractor, and it's mainly if you're
Road use.
in shifting gears and you know you want to drive it more like a standard transmission car, you're gonna rev it up a little bit in between. But the overriding throttle, in other words, the one that just controls the RPM of the tractor, is
Hand
up on the
throttle.
dash. It's a hand throttle
So
on
that's
the
what
dashboard.
we use most of the time for field work
Yep.
and keeping it at one spot.
I see one other control that we haven't talked about on the floor. It's that little black pedal right down there. Right there.
It's the differential lock.
What's that all about?
It can lock in, since this is a 2-wheel drive tractor, you can get into muddy situations, and it'll lock the gearbox for the back 2 tires, so they both spin at the same speed, and you can get better traction.
Okay, so instead of just one tire spinning, it'll spin both of them and you'll dig in better. On the dashboard, some other things that we might want to point out are 4-way hazards. Point to those, please.
This is a hazard. I think you can do it from down here too. This knob just has a bunch of settings on it.
And that's also the headlight knob.
Yep. This is another headlight knob.
Yep.
And then we have our directional here.
Okay, the direction I gotta spin around.
You
to
just
get
go
different.
one way or the other.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Pretty simple. Doesn't really look like a directional on a car the way it's mounted, but that's what it does. So why don't we fire this tractor up, and it'll be a little bit hard to hear, but if you can kind of talk us through the process here, take us through all the correct safety in order. So first you sit down on the tractor and you put your seatbelt
First
on,
thing,
right?
Always seatbelt.
Okay,
I
seatbelt's locked
Push
in.
the clutch down here.
All right,
So
pushing
all
the
the way
clutch
to the
in.
floor, and you make sure your foot is square on there so it doesn't slip off.
Okay.
Check your surrounding for anyone.
Of course, the parking brake's already on, so she doesn't
Right.
roll away.
Yep. So then I put my foot on the brake so it won't roll away. Or actually, usually I start it first.
All right.
Let the gauges go to their spot, and then I hold the brake.
Hold the brake, parking brake all the way down. Make sure the light turns off on the dash. All right, so we look at the dash.
So if I put it back on, it's hard to see, but it's right there. So all the way down and let it click.
Parking brake's off. So just demonstrate how you might put it in gear now.
So the first thing I do is I just push this forward, keeping the clutch in and the brake on the whole time. So it makes it nice. Then I'll hit it in A range, B range. Hit B1, you want to make sure you're not in a really fast gear. So we're in a creeper gear right now.
All right, go ahead and pull away, buddy.
A little throttle.
All right, and there you have it for today. That's been tractor driving for Introduction to Agriculture class at Burnox Westall. I'm Mr. McConley. Catch you next time.